siblings, fighting. How to stop these battles for good. This is what it looks like when siblings are fighting. You're in the car, driving somewhere, and they're screaming at each other back there. They fight over the remote, they fight over the phone, they fight over the video games. It's almost as if they fight over anything and everything. How can we get these siblings to stop from fighting? Sibling fights and constant sibling rivalry can be so draining on us as parents. So why do siblings fight in the first place, and what can be done about it? What is the best way to handle it, and how can we provide them skills so that it happens less and less? This is what we're going to cover in this discussion. And I have read all of the content on the internet to make sure I provide some useful information that is not out there anywhere else. You're going to get it here exclusively. If you like this topic, if you like our AuX Family Dynamics material, if you love these videos and our podcasts, please like, please subscribe. It lets us know you like our stuff. It lets us know you like our material. And it lets other people know that it's worth it. So like and subscribe, spread the word, comment, and let people know about us. I've worked with hundreds of families in the Bay Area as a clinical counselor in the community. This means I've done direct work with families in homes. I've worked with the toughest children within the demographics which struggle the most, and I've focused on the entire family. This means the siblings as well. And this is how I've been able to coach parents so there's no fighting between siblings. So here are the tips. How to stop siblings from fighting and keep it that way. I'll be giving you 4 tips, and then we will be going through each of them one by one. First, earn the position of a respectful guide and a nurturing parent. Assess the fight and evaluate for any safety concerns. Assess for safety concerns. Safety is the most important thing. Have an intervention plan. Have a plan of how to neutralize and go in and guide. Craft a fair grounding solution. You have to be creative here. Or what you can do is encourage them to fairly solution for themselves. Empower them for them to create the solution. Siblings fighting. Why? Why are siblings fighting? Here are a couple bullet points. There's an imbalance or lack of home structure. There could be a function behind the behavior of the siblings fighting. It could be for a conflict resolution. There's a conflict going on, and this is their best way to resolve it. It could be simply a clash of personalities. It could be an exploration and a discovery process. Maybe the siblings are trying to learn each other, and in that process, it manifests in the form of fighting. Last point I have for you, and it's going to sound kind of weird and dichotomous, but it could be a part of relationship building. What to do when siblings fight. So we touched on the 4 things of what to do when siblings fight. We'll touch on them again, and we are going to dive through each of them one by one. The first, earn the position of a respected guide and nurturing parent. 2, assess the fight and evaluate for any safety concerns. 3, have an intervention plan. And 4, craft a fair grounding solution for the both of them or empower them to find a solution for themselves. Why do siblings fight? Round 1. Fight! We allow it through imbalance in the home and lack of structure. I know a lot of people are not going to like this, but from my many years of working with children and families and siblings, I would say one of the main reasons why siblings are fighting is because there's a lack of structure in the home. We simply as parents and guides are not guiding enough. We don't have a strong enough presence. I don't mean authoritarian presence, I mean a strong enough authoritative presence to create structure for these fights to be less or not happening at all. Most of the reason why these kids are fighting is because of us. We are the accountable and we are the responsible ones. So let's dive more into this. So let's take a look at why siblings are fighting. I've worked with dozens of families where fighting siblings was one of the greatest challenges for the parents. More often than not, siblings fight within an environment where it is allowed. And you may be thinking, hold on, mister, I never allow fighting in my home. Well, maybe you don't allow the principle of fighting in the home, but an inconsistent structure in the home or current parenting styles may allow for fighting. Here, I'm going to give you an example. Imagine a single mother who works 50 plus hours a week and who arrives tired to the home 6 days a week. I promise you that both the siblings see this. They may not know how to express it, but most certainly they internalize somehow that their mother is tired. This mother who is working so hard and so much may not be able to dedicate as much involved time with the siblings, so she has a permissible parenting style. Due to the inconsistent structure of the home and her permissible, idle parenting style, the brothers, the siblings, they tend to quarrel and fight more. A link in the description for video, podcast, and blog on parenting styles in the description. Moving on. Another quick example is when, let's say, two parents are divorcing. This tension may create household imbalance and cripple the home structure. Siblings may resort to fighting as a result of this. So you see, we do not allow it through principle. We don't allow fighting through principle, but the environment itself may be a major source for the fighting behavior, simply because these children may be internalizing something they cannot express. So it comes out in the form of fighting. Their frustration may be manifested this way. This is a simple example. When I enter homes with families that have brothers or siblings fighting a lot, I start with this first question. Is the home imbalanced? Is it lacking structure? And is there inconsistency here? There is a reason for the fighting. We call this the function of the behavior. So when fighting is occurring, that's the behavior. Fighting is the unwanted behavior. All the time, 100% of the time, when there's an unwanted behavior, in this case, fighting, there's always a function behind this behavior. There's always something driving the behavior. There's always a reason for the behavior. There's a why behind the behavior. These things, this reason, this why, this function and purpose for the behavior is the function. We cover more of the function of behavior in our discussion of why kids say bad words. Link in the description. We have a podcast, video, and blog for it. But moving on, in a nutshell, the function is a reason for the behavior, as I mentioned. If the brothers are fighting over a toy, sometimes the reason for the behavior is wanting the toy itself. In this case, the function would be tangibles. Sometimes siblings are fighting for parental attention. The function in this case would be attention. Sometimes the fighting is because of frustration, since the other brother feels that the other brother gets everything all the time, and he feels frustrated. Maybe it's a mixture of all these things. Sometimes the fighting is an expression. Maybe brother A feels like brother B gets everything he wants all the time. So brother A fights brother B because he wants to express that things are not fair. In this case, what do you think the function may be? Expression? It could be a mixture of all these things: expression, attention, frustration, and tangibles. Functions can be a potpourri. But here's the special thing. You are the parent, and you know your kids and their patterns. Chances are you will be able to sniff out the function as to why they are fighting. Once we know the function of the fighting, the reason behind the fighting, we can start focusing on that rather than focusing so much on the behavior. Focusing on the function, the reason behind the behavior, is more of a proactive approach. And the more proactive our parenting, the better we can educate the little ones, and the better results in the long run. Conflict resolution. It's not such an easy thing. Let's face it, even us as adults have a hard time with conflict resolution. We may be passive-aggressive, explode, or add insult to injury. So if it is not as easy for us as developed adults who have had more time in this world to develop these skills, it will certainly not be easy for the young ones. Trust me, there are many opportunities for conflicts between siblings. Attention, ice cream, a toy, leaving the table first after dinner, chores, going to the school dance, so many reasons. Each conflict warrants a different resolution skill, and they still have much room to grow in developing these complex skills. It is our job to teach them how to find the resolution for themselves so they can be sustainable into the future with not only themselves, but their coworkers, bosses, friends, partners down the road. Personality clashing. Personality is a very complex thing. It is still a mystery within the science community, how personality is formed, how it can change, and why these compositions are so different even in twins who are 100% genetically alike. It goes without saying that siblings of age differences, of different sexes, and certainly of different personalities can be a source of clashing. The trick here is to find the strengths of each child and his personality. But we will get into that a little more later in this discussion. Exploration and a discovery process. How long does it take to actually get to know somebody? Every person is unique and very complex. It is no different when getting to know a sibling, especially at a young age. The young ones are developing so fast, forming new ideas, language, and their world is expanding every day. These developments create changes to thought processes, philosophies, and bring about new questions. These developments can lead to fighting that is actually a form of exploration or a discovery process. Sometimes siblings fight because they are learning each other. They are tinkering around with how his brother ticks and how he will react and why this way and what he will do. Relationship building. Do you like purple or do you like green? Stop. Do you like purple things that are green or green things that are purple? Stop it. Do you like green eggs and ham or purple eggs and ham? I don't like any of those. Stop it. So you like purple. Ah! This leads us to the last reason on the list as to why siblings fight. Sheer relationship building. Sometimes fighting allows us to get to know the other person. We find out what he is passionate about, what he feels strongly about. We found out his non-negotiables, and we get more clarity on his principles and values. It may seem like an oxymoron, but fighting may just be another avenue for these brothers to get to know each other. Though fighting can be annoying for us as parents, that's undeniable. There may be times when a fight is healthy to bring about a new knowledge and realization for each other. Note that siblings rarely fight for purely one reason. Fighting could be for any number of the reasons I listed. The reason may even shift during the fight. Maybe they started fighting for your attention, but then during the fight, it turned into a personality clash. It's so dynamic. The main thing to note here is that there are various reasons as to why the brothers are fighting, and it is our job to be in tune with them in order to be the best guides. What to do when siblings fight. Round 2, fight. So now we're going to go into those 4 steps, starting with the first one. Earn the position of a respected guide and a nurturing parent. So here comes the juicy part. Now that we are aware of the reasons why siblings fight, what do we do? For starters, I start with focusing on balancing the home structure. Focus on consistency and safety. It will be hard to create sibling peacefulness in the home if there's a disarray and everything's out of balance. Creating harmony in the home is a gift that will keep on giving for everyone in the family. The parents are the leaders and guides of the family. And creating a harmony while in this position shows the kiddos that we can be respected and viewed as nurturing figures. Essentially what I'm saying here is that the best place to start when we're dealing with kids who are fighting is to start with ourselves. We have to make sure that we keep ourselves accountable as home leaders and nurturing structure setters. 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 Nurturing. Earning the position of a respected and nurturing guide is an art. This is where I started with those families I worked with. And though it could take a couple months, this is where most of the transformations were sourced from. Speaking poetically here, when a river flows healthily, there's never a shortage of food and life. And same with the family leadership roles. We must be healthily flowing and create a stable home foundation. Assess the fight and evaluate for any safety concerns. Now that we are getting better in developing that respected and nurturing presence, now it is the time to use our knowledge of the young ones and their patterns. When they start fighting, evaluate the fight, where it is coming from, and check for any concerns of safety. If they're fighting and horsing around a public train station on the platform, that's a safety concern. Safety is definitely first. We need to make sure no one is getting hurt or in harm's way. If that is the case, jump in immediately and stop the fight there. Hurting others, I'm sure, is not a family value. If inflicting pain is something that is a pattern for siblings, it is a good idea to start shifting the family culture away from this pattern. If there are no serious safety concerns, take note of the reason for the fight. Is it for attention? Are they learning something new about each other? Is it any of the reasons that we mentioned earlier in this discussion? Take note of their fighting patterns, timing, and triggers. Have an intervention plan. Intervening will become easier and easier the more the parents have a respected, nurturing presence. The intervening plan aims to pause, distract, or stop the fight in order to slow their emotions or open up their tunnel vision. This plan will be different according to each situation. It could be stopping the car, leaving the store, turning off the TV, going outside, leaving the party, stepping aside and having a conversation. We as parents have a beautiful job. The job to be crafty and creative at the drop of a dime. The better we are able to assess, be creative, be consistent, and stick to our values, the more we are able to be respected as nurturing structure setters. Nurturing structure setters, nurturing structure setters, nurturing structure setters. Craft a fair grounding solution or encourage them to fairly solution for themselves. I will encourage this to be the main end goal. We ideally would like the siblings to be able to solve for themselves. This cannot happen unless they have good modeling and are presented with the skills to properly address their emotions, express themselves, and think critically of solutions. We can be the catalysts of this for them. The more authoritative we are and the more involved we are in helping them solve problems, fights will occur less frequently, and the more they will be equipped to create their own solutions when fights spin up. I cover more about authoritative parenting in the Authoritative Parenting Styles article, but what I'm emphasizing here is to partner with the kiddos and solution with them. Give them the tools to help them come up with their own consensus. This practice will lead to a longer-term solution and potentially lead them to not only be brothers, but be best friends. Conclusion, lifelong friends. Look, siblings will have their differences. I hope I was able to land the message that these kiddos can be lifelong friends who will share wonderful memories together. The sibling rivalry is a part of the journey, and with our great leadership as parents, we can guide them in how to resolve conflicts, communicate, accept differences, and build a healthy bond. It takes our empowered promise, however, to make sure that they have the right balance and nurturing environment to do so. In this discussion, we spoke about why children fight and what we can do about it. We spoke about their process and concepts such as conflict resolution, them exploring each other, relationship building, making sure they're safe. And we also spoke about concepts like maintaining a healthy home structure and being a nurture structure setter. I want to know what you were able to take away from this article. What did you think about the parental unit being the foundational leader of creating harmony and a home balance? What do you think about that concept where the parental unit is the foundational leader of creating harmony and balance in the home? Why are your kiddos fighting? Is it for attention? Is it a personality clash? Are they getting to know themselves? Or maybe you have children who don't fight whatsoever. Share your experience. I'm sure there are people out there that want to know. Leave a comment and contribute. Share this article with someone who could benefit from this discussion. We are on Facebook and we are on Twitter. Take time to watch our videos and like and subscribe. Chances are, if you like something from this video or you were able to learn something, share it with someone, like and subscribe, because when you do, it helps other people find us. And if you found us helpful, other people will as well. The AuX team tries to be very creative with our content and our material. I hope you could see that. The kiddos and I took the time to create a short film on the siblings fighting. Sign up for the AuX newsletter to get that once it releases. If you want to learn more about parenting styles and authoritative parenting, check out this video. If you want to learn more about why kids say bad words, check out this video. Like and subscribe, and thanks for being here and for being a gold family. Nurture structure setters, nurture structure setters, nurture structure setters.